Hey, you're listening to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Good morning, party people. It is a Monday morning, and I'm getting after it today, and I'm hoping that your weekend was great, and you're ready to get after it today and get moving in the right direction. For me, it was a great weekend. We had a good time on Friday night recording our video cast, which I'll talk about in just a minute. Over the weekend itself, we had football games for my son, although it wasn't all that great of an outcome of the score-wise, but had some great family time together. And then had some good time bonding with some of the guys from the neighborhood on Saturday night. It was great to be able to get together and just kind of get away and just get some soul food going. So thank you, first of all, for joining me here on Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973. I am your host, Shane Lakita, as that wonderful beginning person said in the intro. It was my son did the intro for me. I know I keep on talking about it, but super proud of the guy. So why not continue to celebrate in that proudness that I have as a dad, or pride that I have as a father. So thank you so much for joining again. And like I just said a minute ago, I just wanted to touch on something a little bit outside of what the podcast is here. But it's another venture that I'm involved with here that I'm super, super excited about, super proud of, is our video cast that we are now starting. So while we were in Boston during the summer and we had our big party at NFL Inspiration party that we had down there in Boston, we were sitting down talking about, different announcements that we had. So one of them was going to be that we were announcing that we were going to have another party just like that one, if not better and broader and wider and more awesome, out in Scottsdale, Arizona on May 4th. That was one of the announcements, which is great. If you want tickets, go to my Instagram page. You'll be able to see it right in the profile. And then there's also on the main page of No Finish Line Nation, on the announcements section, you'll see tickets to the event there too. So start planning ahead now. We got about probably 8 months or so to be able to hunker down and get tickets and get things ready and have a party of the year in May of 2019. So that's the first part, right? So the second part of the announcement that we made while we were in Boston was the announcement of our new video cast called 2 Kitchen Tables and a Microphone, where Jonathan Giordano, otherwise known as the Mud Hustler, and I decided, after we had already had multiple times where we were on our live videos and our live feeds and we were having fun with it and we were interacting with people, and we just felt there was a good connection between the two of us and felt like we had a lot to say, but there was a lot of times we were on those videos where people just had such a good time and we got a lot of great feedback and a lot of people engaged and just really enjoyed ourselves a lot. And it was interesting because we just felt like, well, we need to take it to the next level of where we're at. Let's take it somewhere else that we didn't think we could or would get into. So we started a YouTube channel, and it's called 2 Kitchen Tables and a Microphone. And our video cast is also called that. So you'll probably see the logo floating around with a donut in the middle with a microphone in the very middle of that donut. And then 2KTM would be the logo design that's on there. And so we've been having a lot of fun with it. We just recorded our second video cast on Friday, and it's another one of those situations where if you don't take risks and don't go for things that you feel that you need to go for, you're never going to know if you're going to be able to achieve the great things that you're meant to achieve. And I know I've talked about it so many times on the podcast in the past, but it's so true. If you have a dream or you have certain things that you want to try to accomplish, what's the worst that can happen if you put yourself out there to be able to do so, right? We could have recorded episode 1 and episode 2, and it could have been a total flop, and we could have just tanked it and said, all right, well, you know what, we tried, and let's keep on moving on, and let's go do other things and those kind of things. But at the end of the day, it actually was pretty successful, and we had a good amount of views and a bunch of subscribers. I think we had over 300 subscribers to the channel before we even launched our first video, which is great. It was just us sharing our story and saying, hey, if you guys want to join us, come on over. And we've grown our subscriber base. We've continued to grow that, and we've continued to have lots of views and likes on there. So we're really proud of our video cast over there. So if you do get a chance on my Instagram profile. You can also go on to the No Finish Line page, or even on the Two Kitchen Tables and a Microphone page on our Facebook, to be able to get all the links for episode 1 and episode 2 of the video cast. So I thought I'd open up with share that with you, because I feel like it's a good thing. It's a good segue to be able to talk about what the topic of today's Coffee Talk is. But, just being able to take chances and doing things and living life to the fullest. And living life to the fullest can mean so many different things to so many different people. But here's my segue. So I go from taking a chance and taking a risk and stepping out of your comfort zone and doing the things that you feel you're meant to do. Right? Not taking chances and risks is so dangerous for some people, because they don't want to fail, and they don't want to fall, and they don't want to skin their knee, and they don't want to scrape their elbow or whatever else. And we play it safe. We sit back, we go, you know what? I'm going to stay right here. I'm good to go. I'm just going to live in my little bubble here and do the things that we have to do. And that's okay, right? That's okay. That's perfectly fine to do that. But a lot of people always say, how come I can't achieve some of those great things that others may have? We start getting into comparison mode. We start seeing what other people have or other people have achieved. And then we get jealous, and we're looking at it going, well, why not me? Well, how come I don't, right? And so the first step of it is stepping out of your comfort zone and doing some of the things that you know in your mind and your heart you're meant to do. I mean, we're all meant to do something, all of us. It's whether you can find it and be able to dig into it and be able to figure it out and be able to try to drive yourself towards it. See, what happens is we might know what our dream is. We might know what our aspirations can be. But a lot of times, the second that we start to try to go for them, if we hit our first no or we fall down the first time, a lot of times we just get up and go, okay, you know what? Good try. I'm going to keep moving. And the perseverance doesn't kick in. And you need to fight through it and battle through it and all those things. And so part of the reflection on this weekend was, on Friday, we were recording our second video cast, even with errors in the video cast. If you watch the second episode, you're going to see, you hear a dog upstairs barking away right in the middle of our video cast because he was angry about the fact that, wait a second, why are you people downstairs and I'm up here right now? And then the other dog was in the room with us. Opie was in the room with us, and he jumped up on the side of the table. And then at the very end, you can see he jumps up and tries to attack the entire table because he thought it was playtime. He thought it was, oh, that's it. I want to get up on the table right here. I want to hop up and hang out with my boys. And even with the errors that were there and everything, we left them in there because we want you to know and us to know that nothing is perfect. You're going to take risks. You're going to put yourself out there. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be somebody that isn't just so polished or so perfect that you keep moving forward. Those people that seem that way, I guarantee you there's a lot going on behind the scenes of those polished, perfect images that you might see out in the front in the open, right? So vulnerability is okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall down a little bit, especially if you are trying to achieve good things and great things and trying to continue to build towards a future or build towards doing just amazing work. Okay? So that's the first part of this whole entire coffee talk here, is taking risks, stepping out of your comfort zone, going to do the things that are necessary for you to achieve the things you're meant to achieve. Because I know everybody out there in the world, I guarantee you right now, thinks to themselves, I could have done this in my life. Or why didn't I take advantage of this in my life? Or I had an opportunity to do this in my life and I didn't do it. Or somebody told me I should go try this in my life and I didn't do it. All of us have those small little regrets of things that we didn't do because we were too afraid to do them. Or because the circumstances weren't right for us to do them. Or because just society in general pushed us away from stepping outside of the norm, and we were forced to stay within the little confines of a four-walled box that we tend to put ourselves in all the time. So first step outside of your comfort zone and do the things that you were meant to do. What's it going to hurt if you do? It's not going to kill you. It's just going to make you feel awesome when you do achieve it. And knowing that you're working towards that goal will always be something that you can put in your pocket and say, I'm proud of myself for doing it. Okay? So second part of it is the actual coffee talk that I posted on Instagram, Connect, and on No Finish Line Nation this morning. and it smacked me in the face like a bag of potatoes. I got to tell you, I looked at it. I'd had a conversation this weekend, and somebody had made the comment of, "You only live once, so you got to go and do it. You only live once. You only get one opportunity. Go take a chance for it." And although very inspirational, you can use that in any context that you want to. I've used it many, many times before. And I agreed with them. And I said, you know what? You're right. You do only live once. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing a podcast and a video cast and trying to put myself out there and just go. Because, if you don't take risks, you're never going to know if you can get there, right? Just like we opened with. But then I saw this image that was on, I think I was just scrolling through the internet. I punched in, "You only live once." And this thing came up to me and just smacked me grill right in the face. And what it said was, basically, the image itself took that phrase of "you only live once" and used it as a question and said, "You only live once?" And the next line said, "False. You live every day. You only die once." So think about that. Here I am thinking to myself, I'm going to find something inspirational around "you only live once," based on the fact that we're stepping out of our comfort zone, based on the fact that we're taking risks and chances and we're going out and doing stuff. And I'm thinking I'm going to put out something inspirational or something that I'm feeling at this moment in time with Coffee Talk. And all of a sudden, bam, right in my face. And I went, wow, that's crazy to me, because we do only live once. But you live every single day. Why aren't we grabbing life by the horns every single day, embracing the things that are going on around us, being the best version of who we are today, every day that we're living and breathing? It's mind-boggling to me, because we're self-defeatist, aren't we? I mean, we literally look at ourselves and say, "I can't accomplish that," or "I can't do this," or "I can't do that." Whether it's society that tells you, whether it's family that tells you, whether it's the way it's written on a piece of paper or whatever, we're always telling ourselves that we can't do something because we don't want to fail at something, or because we've seen people fail at that, or from whatever life lessons that we have that we failed in the past causes us to sell ourselves short in what we're trying to accomplish now. So think about that, though. So think about it. Just sit back and think about, why aren't we maximizing our lives? Why aren't we achieving great things every day? Why aren't we trying to be the best version of ourselves every single day? Is that on your agenda of things to do today? Because if it's not, it should be. Living life to the fullest doesn't just mean having a broad spectrum of a life that you can look back on and say, "Wow, I lived a good life." That's all fine and dandy. But every day that you live, if you live to the fullest and you live to the happiest and you try to embrace and engage and do all the things that you love to do and be the best version of yourself, that will totally make a long-range approach to when people look back and you're looking at your epitaph or whatever you're looking at on your gravestone or whatever else that's there, and people will be able to write down words about how they're going to reflect on you. They will say things like, they lived life to the fullest. They were engaging, they were friendly, they were happy. They seemed to just grab life by the horns and embrace it and love it and breathe it. I mean, think about that. They say you only live once, but in all honesty, you only die once. You live every single day. So ask yourself today, just ask yourself the question, what am I going to do today to live life to the fullest? What is it that I want to accomplish today? And how am I going to get there? And not just accomplish it to check off the box, but accomplish it and be great at what I'm trying to do. And accomplish it and try to be the best version of what I try to do. And even if you don't succeed in your daily goal of what you're trying to accomplish, even if you don't get to the point where you feel like, "Oh, you know what? I did a great thing today. Awesome. I'm good to go. I'm solid. I check off the box and I'm all good to go." Even if you don't get there, but you attempted to try and you fought and you put one foot in front of the other and you went for your goals and you tried to achieve great things today. And even if you failed achieving those great things, the attempt, the try, the effort all matters. It all matters. But if you sit by and you let life just pass you by and you go through the motions, and you're going to work and you're doing whatever, you're checking in, you're punching your time clock, you're doing whatever you have to do, and you just let it all go by you, you're never going to know what you can accomplish or how great you really are, because you don't give yourself enough credit to get there. Stop selling yourself short. Ask yourself the question today, whatever goals that you're setting out for yourself. So if it's eating goals, great. You want to be within a certain amount of calories, certain amount of fat content. You want to be able to a certain amount of points. You want to be able to a certain amount of whatever it is you're eating, whatever. You're setting great goals for yourselves. Those are quantifiable results. Those are things that you can put a number on a piece of paper and say, yep, I got that. I'm going to fight for that. I'm going to go for that. Okay, good. Set myself up for success. You might have prepped your food. You might get your gym time all mapped out on your calendar. You might have all this stuff going on, right? You might have all of these things all mapped out. Why aren't you planning or putting on that agenda, how can I live life to the fullest today? And this isn't any grand thing we're talking about here. If you like volunteering, why not go volunteer? If you like giving to others or giving back to others and it makes you feel really good, then go ahead and pay for that person behind you in line at Dunkin' Donuts or whatever other location that you're sitting at, and you're in a fast food line or you're at a coffee shop or whatever, and you put $10 down and say, pay for the next however much just $10 brings you. Whatever it is that you're doing to live life, to be able to invest back in yourself, to have some of that soul food to keep you moving forward, to live life to the fullest and engage with others in ways that you haven't engaged before or you've always wanted to. There are so many different ways to live life to the fullest. If it's going for a hike and going to the top of a mountain, why not on your break today go over the top of one of the local hills or whatever? Just go out and breathe some air and do the things that you have to do that you feel shows that you're living life to the fullest. Because whatever that version is, it only matters to you. You know what the version of life should be or could be in your vision of what you want to accomplish in life. You're the only one that knows. It's not what I think, and it's not what Joe thinks or Sally thinks. It's what you think. What your version of what life could be and how you can live it to the fullest is exactly where you need to put those actions into motion to start that happening. Be the best version of yourself every single day. And it doesn't take, I'm not talking about being a perfectionist. I'm not talking about achieving grand goals and getting to the pinnacle of whatever else that's there. I'm talking about just your personal journey, where you're at. Whatever the best version of what you want to do, focus on that. It can be something very small, whether it's staying on track with all of your calories for the day. And if that's a big deal to you and you can't do that and you haven't been doing that, focus on that today and be the best version of that you can be today. So that way at the end of the day, when you reflect back and say, I worked today at that and I accomplished that today and I lived life to the fullest today. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like I said, the image really smacked me in the face. Because I was like, man, I always live by the rule of trying to be able to engage and be a positive influence and give back to others and those kind of things. But in the grand scheme of things, was I really setting a goal around it? Was I really setting it down to the fact that I want to accomplish great things overall in life? Or was I really just hunkering down to say, hopefully it all kind of pans out? Well, that's going to change now, right? So I reflected in the beginning of this podcast on the video cast that John and I are doing, where we're rapping and we're talking about it. We're having these conversations around life, around the struggle in weight loss, or just the guy's perspective on things or whatever. And who would have thought our two silly faces would be on YouTube video to be able to put that out there, to have 700 views already within like 2 days on the second episode, and having all kinds of subscribers and people liking where we're at. Just two guys that are sitting there talking about whatever. But we both had a dream to be able to say, we can help others, we can invest in others, we can move this direction down the road, we can even make a career out of it one day if we wanted to. Why not? Why can't we accomplish that? We can set our goals high and we can continue to fight for those and keep pushing forward, because we're stepping out of our comfort zone, and every day we got to make life the best that we can make it. Be the best version of ourselves. Live and lead by example. Keep fighting for what I believe I can achieve in life. And stop telling myself that I can't achieve those things, because I can achieve those things. I can do whatever I set my mind to. I just have to believe it. Do you believe that you can accomplish great things? Because if you do believe it, then start putting the actions in place. If you don't believe it, then you got to get to the root cause of why you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in the things you want to accomplish. That's where the real groundwork happens, right? That's where the psychological stuff happens. And I'm no doctor, I'm no professional, and I can't help you much with that, except for the fact that I can only tell you what I go through and what my journey tells me. But here's, at the end of the day, I've had to change a lot of my mindset. I've had to change the way I think about things because I was in a negative space for so many years, and I always doubted myself. You know, I didn't wear it out. I wasn't a mean or vindictive person or anything like that. But internally, I struggled with the fact that I'm not good enough. I can't accomplish the things I want to because I'm going to fail and other people are better than me and they're always going to have one leg up on me. But no more. I can accomplish great things because I believe in myself. And so should you. We'll talk later.
Thanks for listening to the Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973 podcast. You can also follow him on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Liquidshano 1973. Also, if you get a chance, leave some love on iTunes. Have a great day.